Peace, family. Like, share, subscribe. It's a Nappy Yankee. Happy 4th of July. I have to get that out of the way. All right? Stay safe. Don't get into any foolishness out there. But I had to, I really had to touch on this subject here. And I'm not going to, I won't say that I told you so. I'm not even going to get into that. Your boy Kwame Brown decided to open his mouth and stick his foot deep down his throat yet again. And I'm actually happy he did this. All right? Because really, Kwame is going to be, based on how he's been moving and what he's been doing, he's going to be good content for a very, very long time. Your boy decided to speak on a few things, a few recent events that are happening, but in particular, the Bill Cosby situation, among other things. And so Kwame, I said before he was running game, and people were saying, nah, you weren't really listening to what he's saying. He's really dropping some knowledge, and we need to hear it. And, so what if he's late? I mean, it's all that he's late, he's on time type of thing, when really he's just a new flavor. And I noticed, and I didn't watch the video, but, he has the usual suspects. He has Angela Stanton King, all right? Joe Brown he has in there again, so he's probably going to have Joe Brown in there as on the regular, but you're going to see through this video that not only is this guy, I don't want to call him any names. I'll try to pull back from calling people names. Y'all remember when Stephen A. Smith was forced to basically respond back to Kwame. Kwame was dragging him all over the internet, and Stephen A. Smith was forced to respond. And of course, Kwame's making Stephen A. Smith look really good right now. I'm just going to say that. All right? Because this dude who claims that black men are under attack, and when you look at Kwame Brown's site, all he does is attack black men. That's all this guy does. He's on this revenge tour, and he's going after nothing but black men. But you're going to see throughout this video that this dude has been doing nothing but running game. And I'm not going to call him stupid. I'm not going to say he's dumb. I mean, you can't, if you find a way to steal $60+ million from the NBA for literally doing nothing, I mean, I can't call you that dumb. So I've said before, you should do a speaking tour on how to rob the NBA, which I'm not against. You rob one of those big corporations for that type of money, I ain't mad at you. But basically, bro, I'm not going to say you're stupid. I will say that you're just not that smart. Like Stephen A. Smith just said, he didn't want to call you a scrub or a bust. You just weren't that good. Or Kwame Brown, you're just not that smart. You're a dude who came from the hood, who got into a lot of money, and you resurrected your fame on YouTube, and now you think you can just throw out anything out there. And obviously the idiots will listen. And this video that I'm reviewing, where he's speaking on the Cosby situation, but among other things as well. All right, and you see everybody under the content section saying, yeah, Kwame, you said some shit and blah, blah, blah. Kwame he's moving towards a direction where he wants to be the next Alex Jones. He's on some total conspiratorial shit. But before we even do that, I want to play this video. He as you know, he did an interview with Tasha K. I don't think Tasha K put the interview online. I think she kept it on her Patreon. Eventually, she'll probably bring it online and let everybody hear the whole thing. But this is very interesting what he says in this little cut. But let's play the cut. Shoot.
The reason why I speak of this go along, get along game, and the reason why people that actually know me are so afraid is because they know I know what they do. I know all of their tactics. I think I've been right about everything that I said that they were going to do. And the one thing they do is they control the narrative through the media. So that's why I was able to stay quiet so long. I knew what they were doing to my draft pick and my draft class.
Charlamagne brought the boy Daddy into it, compared him to his daddy, said leave him alone, he's liable to snap any day, his brother is in trouble too, so don't comment on his game because he could possibly kill you.
If they sway a narrative like that in front of you guys, and you can go back and watch the clips and see what I said and what other people said, and they're doing it right in front of you, what else are they doing that to? MJ is not a guy you want to not give what he wants. He wasn't missing.
Now you notice, all the conspiratorial shit, and he says the bud words. They know that I know something that, a lot of other people don't know. If they can do that, they use the media to control you, all right? They didn't know about my draft situation and blah, blah, blah. They. Right? This invisible man, he's just painting a picture that they are after you, they are doing this, they are doing that, all on some conspiratorial bullshit. But Kwame Brown is moving towards that direction. The whole Alex Jones conspiracy. This is why he's a trumpet. He is a trumpet. He hasn't fully come out as yet as a MAGA dude, but you see he as I said, he interviewed Angela Stanton King. I haven't seen that video, but I'm sure those two are cutting up back and forth. They're both basically, they probably just spoke in the hood rat, lingo. I'm sure there's a lot of cursing, a lot of MFs and FU and all this other. I'm sure they got down and dirty like that, but whatever. This dude is getting on is basically on some conspiratorial QAnon, Illuminati bullshit. So just listen to the video and you'll see what I mean. And where are we at? Here we go, folks. Your boy Kwame Brown. Where is it? Here it is.
Bill Cosby. They tried to take an elder away from us. An elder that had no proof that he did anything. An elder that may have done some stuff. I don't know.
Now, first of all, if you don't know, all right, how could you not know at this point, right? All the information's out there. Now, were you there? I wasn't there, okay? I've read the whole deposition, though. And I'm going to say this, too, because a lot of people are stuck on stupid with that deposition. I got to go over that full deposition. I'm going to go over the deposition piece by piece by piece. Because some of y'all are just fucking stuck on stupid. You just pull out little things in the deposition. Nah, he didn't do it. We're going to go over that. But let's continue with Kwame Brown.
I don't want to speak on the case because I don't want to get into it. But
If you don't want to speak on the case, then how do you know there was no proof or nothing like that? Again, he's just throwing stuff out there without giving details. I don't want to speak on it.
I do want to get into what the Supreme Court did. The Supreme Court overturned it. Allegedly, the judge in this case, after a mistrial, the judge in this case and the DA is somehow friends. Allegedly, the DA had enough time to fine Mr. Bill Cosby $2,010 for not cutting his grass.
It wasn't alleged. That's true. That is true. That's why they took him to jail. There's nothing alleged about that.
A DA. So yeah, people have been trying to put their money on him. I wonder if Bill Cosby wouldn't have had this case. I wonder if he would have been able to buy NBC.
And then, you hear this? You hear this shit, dude? Buying NBC? Now, Bill Cosby, this is something that happened in 1993. Supposedly, he was going to try to buy it again or buy something. I think in 2000, but he wasn't going to buy anything. He wasn't buying anything, but let's continue with with this dude.
Or whatever company he was trying to buy, allegedly. I wonder if he would have been able to afford to purchase this company, because Bill Cosby said the number one thing that they have that controls our society is the media and the networks.
There you go. This dude is a fool. No, he would not have been able to afford, if this never happened, if none of this ever happened, Bill Cosby would not have been able to afford to buy a corporation. He would not have been able to buy NBC. Some of you people even said Viacom. Seriously? Bill Cosby isn't even worth $1 billion. Even if he was worth $1 billion, $2 billion, $6 billion, he would not have been able to afford to buy the corporation. But notice what he's doing here. I wonder, maybe if, well, I wonder what's going on behind the curtain. This is what Kwame Brown is now into.
And he who controls minds control images. Is that correct? And they own all of the media. They sway all of the narratives. And they put a black talking head to say all of the shit. They put no masculine males on TV.
Which is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. Not everybody on TV is gay. All right? He's calling them that. Stephen A. Smith, who you know, he's going to go after these guys again. He keeps bringing up Stephen A. Smith and Charlemagne because that's his bread and butter. Stephen A. Smith is a lot of things. He's not feminine. There's nothing feminine about him. But anybody who goes after this dude, they're not masculine. They're not feminine. They're not masculine. They're feminine. So what he's saying is a lie.
And when masculine males go to jobs, they're fired.
That is not true. That is not. Like, I work with a bunch of black dudes. None of them are gay. And we do heavy work. We drive to people's houses and we do networking and installing. Not one of them are homos. Come on, man.
They'll tell you what it's like. These contractors that's trying to bid for jobs.
Interesting he brought up contractors. I'm not a contractor, but I used to do that, and I used to do subcontracting. You can't find, there are many contractors who get hired that aren't gay.
They'll tell you what it's like. There's a certain place that they want you in America, and it's not playing in the $1 million game, in the $1 billion game that they playing in.
But you played in that for years, though. You played in that for years. You had access. You had tons of access for 13 years for doing nothing. So that isn't true.
Unless you seem like being a boy and having a white man you can call that's over you, seems like Dr. Bush is right. You can't get to a certain level. If I'm wrong, sir, there's a lot of black millionaires and close to billionaires. So why?
So this guy's going to contradict himself in a minute. Now there's a bunch of black millionaires and billionaires.
Don't we have enough 500 Fortune companies that's rivaling the white man? Why don't we have a distribution company, a black owned one?
Hold on. I gotta stop you here. All right, I gotta stop you here because clearly Kwame Brown didn't watch my video. All right, I had a video where I spoke about this a long time ago. All right, and I will put the video in the link. All right, just going down here, I spoke about this already. White people. There's a book called How Whites Got Rich. Yvette and Tony, even though I don't fuck with them, they spoke about this a long time ago. And my video was called Black Folk Will Never Financially Catch Up to Whites in America. White people has 800 times more wealth than you. I'll leave the link in the channel. We speaking about this. We know why they have more money. Now, you're the same guy who spoke against reparations.
Africans going to let you come back to Africa, and they're going to make amends for slavery.
Who said that?
That ain't going to happen.
Who said that? I'm Geechee. I'm Geechee. I don't know what the hell that. I ain't never said I'm going back to Africa, nigga. I'm Geechee.
My whole life, I focused on how can I change the outcome? You're not going to change the outcome by disrespecting white folks and telling them about something that happened years ago. We got opportunity zones. We got tax breaks. They got tax easements. They got all kind of things for black folks. They're begging you to stop this I'm black shit. White folks are at the point to where they're begging you. What the fuck can we do for you?
We can give everybody everything you want, and it's still gonna be issues. But just because you give us reparations and all this shit, that's not gonna help nothing, bro.
We shown you the video where you spoke against reparations. You're not fighting for it like that. But he's gonna say some more bullshit.
Why don't we have a black-owned hair shop? Why don't we have a
lies, more lies? Look at this. What is this? What's this? Black-owned hair shops right there. This is in Atlanta alone. Let's continue.
Network of black-owned banks.
We do have black-owned banks. Again, go ahead.
Why don't we have a network of black-owned schools?
We have black schools. I said that in my initial Umar video. I gave you a list of black schools. A list.
Cause they know better.
Do you see that? He's back to they. They, conspirator, they, this, that, oh. You know, look out behind your back.
The system in place that you cannot do certain things. Otherwise, I could show you 20 people on a list that they have the money to do everything I just said.
So if they don't allow you to do anything, how did you get this list of 20 people who clearly have the money to do something?
And you ask these people, why haven't they done it? Because this is what happens. They put these young men, or old men now.
Now he's going, basically this is a shot after all the sportscasters that he's been attacking on his platform on the Revenge Tour.
And they attack them with groups. Women is a group that you can't speak against. They said believe all women.
So he's basically caping for Cosby. He's caping for Cosby. Well, hold on a second. Let me ask you a question, Kwame. Did they believe the woman that accused you? Because she decided not to press charges against you. If you remember. This was a couple of years after Charlemagne got caught up. Right? So didn't they believe the woman, or she just decided to pull back?
But in certain situations, for certain people, they don't believe all women. So they are using these groups to attack these black males.
What groups? Explain the groups. Give specifics. All right? Don't give me the Illuminati shit. Give me specificity.
There was no real reason, based on what the Supreme Court found, for Mr. Cosby to be in jail, and he needed to be released immediately.
He got railroaded. That's already been established.
And when any time that happens in America, normally people say, well, trust the system. And that's what we say. We say trust the system. America has a system for a reason. And that system failed us in the beginning. And that system worked in the end.
The system is the system is the system. All right? It failed you, but then it worked. All right? It worked for him. As I said in the last video, it doesn't work for black folks as a whole. It worked for him because he had the resources to mount up some type of fight.
So a man that should not have been in jail, Supreme Court let him out. But to me, my opinion is they still got to accomplish their goal, which was so that Mr. Cosby could not buy the network.
Oh, good grief. Good Lord. Good night. Good night. So they did all of this. They brought up all his old hoes. And Cosby was even speaking about getting any net. When last have you heard Cosby speaking about getting any business? Cosby, before he went into prison, said, I just want to entertain people. Hey, wait. You know what? Let me get his exact quote. His exact quote was, and if I don't get the quote now, because I just want to get through this video, I'll leave it in the link. He said, I don't know why people are doing this. I just want to entertain people. That's what Cosby said. He wasn't talking about any corporation or buying any land. Tyler Perry was doing that. And if they're trying to stop you, why is Tyler Perry buying studios, buying land, buying army bases? Cosby wasn't doing that. Cosby had no interest in that. He had no interest in getting any type of land. He had no interest in getting any type of political power. He had no interest in none of that. Man. Let's continue with this jackass already.
Was I in the room? No. I'm going off what the Supreme Court just said.
Wait, you're going off the Supreme Court just said. Did the Supreme Court mention anything about any damn TV station or anything? The Supreme Court, we don't need to go on that. Let's continue this school.
There's an attack on all black males. Let's speak about brother.
Like the black males you attack on your channel. Wait, and he now look who he's going after. He's defending now. Listen to this.
Let's speak about brother R. Kelly. Brother R. Kelly is one.
It's brother R. Kelly now. Are we serious, folks? Really?
Of the greatest performers in the history of performing. Do I know what R. Kelly did? Absolutely not.
That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. The R. Kelly tape, that came out when? 2002, 2003, right? That's when the R. Kelly tape came out. Kwame Brown, you were a young, rich Negro in the NBA, right? Making millions of dollars. Clearly around that time when that, whenever that incident with you and that chick happened, okay? You were into that lifestyle. So don't tell me that that R. Kelly, who was huge as hell back then, had, he was having hit after hit. Everybody's seen that video. Dudes in the hood, broke ass niggas were on the corner buying, VCR tapes, getting that video. Don't tell me a bunch of rich NBA dudes at a party or at some mansion or something, you weren't checking out that video. Give me a break with this shit.
Am I speaking about his case? Absolutely not.
Then why are you speaking about it?
R. Kelly was a man who could not read and write.
Okay.
His problem is a man who wrote, he produced, he sung, Trapped in the Closet.
Oh my God. So this is, now let me say this, folks. I used to buy every R. Kelly album whenever his albums came out. He put out good music. This man always put out good music. When that tape happened, all right, that was when the Chocolate Factory came out and he had the remix to Ignition or what have you. I stopped fucking with R. Kelly. I never bought another R. Kelly album. Never. Never messed with that dude at all. I'd have never in my life heard Trapped in the Closet. I don't know what that's about. I guess supposedly it's about him hiding in the closet because he was banging out, some chick and her husband went home and he was trapped in the closet. I'd never seen a single episode. I'd never seen it. The most I've seen was the gift of the cigarette falling out his mouth. I'd never seen Trapped in a Closet in my life. And I don't plan to. But my question is, with all the inspiring songs that R. Kelly, I'm Your Angel, obviously he wrote the Salacious Shit, but I'm Your Angel and I Believe I Can Fly and World's Greatest, you bring up Trapped in the Closet as an example of his greatness? Didn't I tell you this dude is a fool?
R. Kelly is a man that gave us hit after hit for 20 years.
And he doesn't name the hits.
Could not read or write.
Which I don't believe, by the way. R. Kelly at some point knew, he grew up illiterate. At some point, all the people he was around, you mean to tell me nobody showed this guy how to read or to write? I think he's running game there. You can't write all those great songs, because he was a great writer, and not know how to read or write. Maybe somebody in the comments will tell me different. I don't believe that.
So R. Kelly has been trying to get a hold of his masters.
There you go.
Been fighting for his masters in court.
There you go, the conspirator shit. They're doing this because he's holding his masters. If this man is so illiterate, how does he have a hold of his masters? Word is that he never had his masters. That this dude, that he never had his masters, he never had a hold of any of that, that they just, that he was basically broke. That was the word. Though all I've heard throughout that Surviving R. Kelly, this guy did not have any money, that he was completely broke. So they did all of this. The guy who hung out in front of high schools, picking up adolescent kids, right? Adolescent girls. He has a whole line. Again, just like Cosby, who had a whole slew of women who came out. R. Kelly, a whole slew of little girls. So this guy who did all of this, now my thing with the Surviving R. Kelly, my question is, why now? Why now? All right, I'm not going to defend R. Kelly. I don't care, again, with him, just like with Cosby, I can give a fuck if that dude dies in prison. I could care less. But we knew R. Kelly was a scumbag back in the 90s when he married Aaliyah. So you knew that back then. And what's funny, the three people who exposed R. Kelly, all right, his ex-wife, Andrea, Sparkle, his old artist who knew him since she was in her early teens, like preteens, and Aaliyah's mother. As bad as R. Kelly is, they're just as bad, if not worse. You know what I'm saying? So there's nobody good here. It's just like Cosby. It's like everything can be right. R. Kelly can be a scumbag, but they're scumbags. But my question with the R. Kelly situation is, why now? Why not back then? Because you wanted to squeeze as much money out as you can out of him, and then when it was all over, when he wasn't needed, just like Cosby, oh, we got to go after R. Kelly.
Right before, allegedly, gets a chance to defend himself to get his masters in court.
Allegedly, meaning you don't know, but you speak so bold. Allegedly.
Now he's in jail. Now, I don't know what Brother R. Kelly did, but I know.
Come on, this bullshit. You know what R. Kelly did. Everyone knows what he did.
How much R. Kelly is worth dead.
How are you defending R. Kelly on any level with all the little girls that came out with him? He has a video literally pissing on a girl's face. With Charlemagne, just one chick, and his wife. It's bad, don't get me wrong, but it's just one woman. All right? Kobe sodomized a chick. But then again, the chick was, she was, not the cleanest chick. Let's just say that. But Kobe, your teammate, as well. But I understand, he's dead and gone or what have you. But he did that shit. But Charlemagne, one woman. R. Kelly, a bunch of chicks. And this guy is trying to find a way to defend this shit. I would like to see what Tasha K, who interviewed this cat, who is R. Kelly's arch nemesis. I didn't find out about Tasha K until the Surviving R. Kelly shit came out. I didn't know she existed. Turned out she was his arch nemesis. It's interesting what she will say when she hears this.
For all that material for 20 years, written and produced, to be owned by a record company, I guarantee you they won't stop you from selling R. Kelly and telling you how good it is to buy if R. Kelly was to die in jail.
Okay.
I guarantee you, if R. Kelly pass away with
conspirator
his
shit,
thing still out, they will still sell it. See?
Conspirator shit. Again, Tasha K is a rape survivor. This is why she went after R. Kelly. I'll be interested to see if she even goes after this dude.
You gotta ask yourself, black people.
Oh God,
what
black people now linking black people with Kells and Cosby.
are we watching here? So all of your great black males are just somehow rapists.
Whoa, wait, come on.
Just deviants.
Hold it. Look, you can make a case. Obviously, Cosby, and I've said this a million times, even though he's a scumbag, I would always recommend The Cosby Show, A Different World. It's great entertainment. You know, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, great cartoon. All right, I would recommend that to end. You can, there's lots of lessons in that. Great entertainment. All right, even though he's a dirtbag. All right, R. Kelly, the dude puts out great. Again, everything prior to 2002, because I don't know what he did after that. I did hear the one song he did. I heard I'm a Flirt. I heard that song. The other song he did with Joe Budden. What was it called? Up in the Club with that other cat. I heard that song. That was good. But I really like bits of. I really haven't heard any R. Kelly stuff at all. I just haven't. Obviously, anytime you go to a wedding, Step in the Name of Love, which is kind of funny too. That song is a staple at weddings, Step in the Name of Love. So you're always going to hear that, regardless of what happens with the Cosby shit. But two great black men, I mean, just basing their actions seriously.
While Ben Roethlisberger can stand up a wreck, you tell us we need to buy and spend our money, and then when the very same men, Jay Prince don't have a...
First of all, just quickly on Ben Roethlisberger, okay? Who everybody... There was a cover story on Ben Roethlisberger in Sports Illustrated. You can get that. It's called The Hangover, all right? But at that point, Ben Roethlisberger had raped 2 chicks, all right? Raped them. He raped 2 women. Terry Bradshaw would get on his neck, all right? He was a pariah for a long time. Now, he hasn't, no one's, I myself, I don't see him as a clean person or anything. He went after everybody who kneeled for the flag, so he got on all his patriotic shit. He's a piece of shit, all right? And you saw him in the last playoff game. That dude spit the bit. He sucked. He's shot right now. So... again, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Because people went in on Ben Roethlisberger, especially during that time. Again, Sports Illustrated cover, Ben Roethlisberger, The Hangover. Read that article.
A charge of that nature. He has a respectful jacket on through and through.
Jay Prince he's talking
about. They've been
attacking
this man his entire life based on his information that he's put out. Said he had the money to put up and was pulling his money together with other black brothers. And they sent the FBI allegedly out.
Allegedly. Listen, he's talking about when Jay Prince and Irv Gotti and Suge Knight got together, and I guess they were going to form a distribution company or whatever. Listen, bro. A shady FBI agent tried to extort money from him. He's now looking at jail time, this FBI, this DEA agent or whatever. But Irv Gotti, who, is hooked up with Supreme, I mean, basically, and I'm not knocking him at all as far as, what he's done as a businessman, but Irv Gotti is got hooked up with criminals. That federal case was real. All right? I mean, Supreme is the guy who he was hooked up with. He was hooked up with a lot of illegal people. So was Suge Knight. Suge Knight was, lockstep with gang members. And as far as Jay Prince, I don't know. From what I hear, he hangs around a lot of official people. And again, this dude, what he did with Rap-A-Lot was greatness. All right? What the Rap-A-Lot was a very successful label that started at a young age to put out the Ghetto Boys and all these legendary acts. He gave us the greatest Southern rapper ever. But from what I understand, he was, a lot of these guys are hooked up with really unsavory people. I don't know that much about Jay Prince. I do know the other two. Okay, and again, I'm not going to sit here and kill them for it because this country was built off a bunch of unsavory motherfuckers. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, say they should have went the straight path. No, they're underneath people who are the worst of the worst, the original gangsters, the OGs. But yeah, when you're neck deep with those people, yeah, you're gonna run into the feds. That happens. That's not with everybody. Other black people have put businesses together. To be fair, Puffy never got, the feds never went after him. The feds never went after Jay-Z. Okay, and basically they have more money than those three. So, come on, man, more conspirator shit.
And the DA, a crooked DA.
Oh, God.
So how can black men do what you say, Mr. Jackson? When we do try to put the money up, they send in the FBI and they're doing everything in their power to bring up cases and bring up charges with what the Supreme Court said was not enough information. But the man can still spend 3 years in jail.
Yeah, so he switched from that to Bill. He's just rambling at this point.
And he could not use the money he earned to buy what he deserved to buy. See, the thing is,
so he's still stuck on this NBC conspiracy bullshit. All right? Bill Cosby, here's what Bill Cosby could have easily done. All right? He could have started his own platform. He could have started his own app. Bill Cosby, if he stayed clean and just stayed away from the white chicks and the Quaaludes and all the other shit, he could have started a YouTube channel that's simply called Bill Cosby. If he didn't want to call it Bill Cosby, he could have called it something else. But see, there's one thing that people don't know or don't talk about Bill Cosby. This guy is narcissistic as fuck. Everything with Cosby has to have his name, his face. This is why, in a way, I'm glad this guy didn't get a TV station. Because if he did, it will be Cosby 24/7. He would not let anyone breathe. Same thing as Tyler Perry. This is why Tyler Perry is bringing back Medea. This dude, everything has to have his face on it. He doesn't know how to stay in the background. So this idea that Cosby wasn't able to do, you got $500 million, bro. You could do something. You could have bought a small TV station up in Buffalo, all right? And you could have put your shit on the internet and you could have started streaming from there and everybody would have come. But you didn't want to do that. You just wanted to walk around and tour and go hang with white folks and smoke cigars and hang out at the Playboy Mansion and, in your spare time, spit on black folks. So please.
Let's start thinking black. We shouldn't be listening to nothing the white media is telling us.
Right.
When the fuck did white media give a fuck about black people?
Right.
Did they change the 13th Amendment? What is that amendment?
Does this man realize that he's on a white media platform now? YouTube is not black media. Sorry to break. There's no black YouTube or black Twitter. You're on someone else's platform, folks. Stop it.
Did they still make us a slave? Did they change the amendment? Did they change anything besides putting up a statue? And what have they proven that they loved you so much? Did they give you reparations? Or are they giving your own tax dollars back in the form of stimulus checks and that's why you happy?
Kwame, are you fighting for reparations? You got a big ass platform, Negro. Have you done a stream? Instead of doing a stream, going on a revenge tour, attacking black men like Rob Parker and Stephen A. Smith, and still attacking them, by the way. You had the one rant, okay, fine, but now you're still attacking black men. Charlemagne and everything. You're doing it for hits. You're doing it for hits now. So when have you actually sat down and said, let me do a whole stream on subjects like this?
What is the white man giving you that you're so proud to take it from them? The information and the things that they're giving you when they used to shoot you and burn a white man for teaching you how to read.
So shoot and burn a white man for teaching you how to read. What about black folks when they try to teach their own how to read? All right, and who is this white man you're talking about? I mean, what? It's just, or did you say it wrong? I don't know.
They give you that now you love them and trust them so much.
Yeah, Kwame, that's something you ask yourself.
501(c)? Is that what they gave?
Have you done a video about a 501(c)? Or are you just busy sitting down talking about the go along, get along gang that you literally tried to join for 13, close to 20 years?
Did they give you a government job? Did they give you a position higher than the other niggas so you can tell them, nigga, I'm above you? Did they give you a record deal? Did they give you a figurehead position and call you an owner when they really own the company?
You know, I'm glad you said that, Kwame. And what we're going to do, because this ties in to your caping for Dr. Cos. Okay, he loves talking about, you know, he loves hearing Dr. Cos, Dr. Cosby. There is an article, and I will leave the link in the description box. Okay? There is a Vanity Fair article, right? A Vanity Fair article back in 2000 and... No, not 2000, I'm sorry. 1993. And the Vanity Fair article is called Bill Cosby's Big Adventure. All right? Bill Cosby's Big Adventure. So let's read this. It says, he's television royalty, but Bill Cosby thinks the medium is less than cool. Now, having co-founded the so-called media insiders and thrilled the restless sharks in the mergers and acquisitions pool, Cos is poised to make a serious attempt of taking over NBC. Powerful, socially aware, and way out there, he's entertainment's Ross Perot. Not money-wise, but whatever. Nikki Fink reports from the trail Cosby is blazing. All right? So, it continues. It can't be done. He's not serious. So alleged experts greeted last fall's news that Cosby was interested in buying NBC from General Electric. Analysts on both coasts saw Cosby's quest as quixotic, meaning crazy, and innocent tilting at windmills, peacock feathers blowing in the wind. Maybe even a publicity stunt. Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, after all, this wasn't Geffen, Diller, or Davis. Cosby's chances of success as slight to slightest. I'll explain that in a minute. But while they publicly scoffed a long-time M&A-starved investment banking firms, including... Now listen to this now, folks. But while they publicly scoffed a long line of MMA-starved investment banking firms, including Bear Stearns, Solomon Brothers, Wertheim Schroeder, Merrill Lynch. We'll touch on Merrill Lynch a little later on. And Goldman Sachs, as well as several European firms, and even interested investors from South and China were casting about Riley for any in with Cosby. His people at the William Morris Agency for his New York law firm, Patterson, Belkamp, Webb, and Tyler. Still, the story faded. Now, let's just stop there. Bill Cosby, NBC at the time, was worth... Well, let's start with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, at the time, was worth $400 million. He was getting paid every year $50 million a year. You see, $50 million a year, a lot of which from, guess who? NBC. $50 million a year, but he was worth close to $500 million at the time. All right? NBC was worth $4 billion. $4 billion is what NBC was worth. So in other words, for Cosby to buy NBC, right? To buy it and own it, he'd either have to take out a major loan, right? And basically mortgage everything that he possibly has. He could storm the place, really, like form a coup, like go up there with guns and like, you know, go to the top of Rockefeller Center and like, you know, take him hostage. He can do that. Or he need to ask around for money. Right? Tell me which one of these firms, Bear Stearns, Solomon Brothers, Wertheim Schroeder, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, several European firms, investors from the South. If they were black, they would definitely have named them, but whatever. And China. How is that black owned? Yet you just mentioned that they would get a figurehead position after caping for Cosby like you did about a situation you admitted you know nothing about. You went out and just threw out a diss in the wind saying, oh, well, you probably be one of them people with the go along, get along gang. They just use you as a figurehead, not knowing that this is exactly what Cosby would have been. What do you think? This was back in the 90s when Khaled was hot and Pac was hot. But Tupac, a guy who Cosby threw under the bus and disparaged, by the way. Huh? Do you really think that Bill Cosby would have the Khaled hour on Sunday evening? You really think he put anyone revolutionary with all of these are mainly, you know, firms that are run by a lot of Jewish people, a lot of white people, Chinese people, European people, no black people. But somehow Cosby was going to buy NBC. And even his law firm, Patterson, Belkamp, Webb, and Tyler, out of New York, a white law firm. Look at all these faces. Look at all these white faces. This was his law firm. Where is the black power here? And y'all were riding me saying, yo, you know, why are you attacking Kwame? Why are you doing this or that? Because he's an idiot. That's why.
They are attacking masculinity on every front. And they're attacking masculinity by hiding in groups. Anybody who speaks out about anything we see wrong is somehow they use a word to attack us. Fuck the word. Let's go to law. Law states indecent exposure is for all American citizens.
Now watch this correlation he does. This ties in with the Little Nas X bullshit.
But law does not prosecute during gay pride when they disrespect the noise ordinance or take their clothes off in the middle of the street. I want a heterosexual pride. I want to take a female out and get in the middle of the road and get bucket naked and lay on the arrows and we can kiss and hunch naked. If that's what the standard of happiness and that's what the standard of being proud about something is, then that's a ridiculous standard.
Now, I totally agree. Some of these Alphabet Crew parades, they're way out. I mean, you know, some of the stuff that you see at these parades, all right, just over the top. What does explain? Okay, you're gay, right? You're not straight. You want to show that you're gay. Okay, that's fine. You're gay. You like the same sex, but what does, you know, showing all these over-sexualized images during your parade? And listen, to be fair, you go to the Caribbean parade, you go to, you know, Mardi Gras and what have you. A lot this happens at parades. I get that, but you're trying to be normalized, and you're pulling. I don't see at these Caribbean parades people literally pulling out their their penises or full buck naked. But my question is, why, Kwame, would you want that? I don't want it at either parade, to be honest with you. I mean, if it's a hot day, you're gonna see enough skin. As if it's a hot enough day and you see women, you're gonna see enough skin. You're gonna see it. It doesn't. But why would you want to be equalized on that level with this? But see, you're throwing a bone out to the people who, you're pushing the masculinity thing to show, listen, I'm for black men, even though, again, your whole platform bashing dudes who aren't. Rob Parker isn't feminine. Stephen A. Smith, I understand he's soft shoe coons, but he's not feminine. All these dudes you're going after, Stax isn't feminine. All these dudes you're going after that aren't feminine. So please, miss me with that.
It can be educational if you put your damn clothes on. I can bring my daughter and say, hey, these people are proud that they finally have rights just like everybody else. That's what they said they wanted. They didn't say they wanted to be able to break the law and nobody can't talk about it. They didn't say they wanted to be a gang now and a group that posse up on anybody who speaks against in a respectful way or whatever else. Just anybody who talk. They didn't say they wanted that. They said they wanted equality and all inclusive. So yes, honey, these men and these women and whatever they identify with, you have to ask them individually. Non-binary, I don't remember all of them, sweetie. But
I don't
there's
either.
a way you can walk up and you can talk to them, sweetie. But if my daughter go now and go to talk to a man or somebody, whatever they identify with, their penis might bump her in the damn chest. Why she want to ask them a damn question? Is that appropriate?
But why, first of all, why are you even going to those parades, knowing what they're about? All right? Why even go to those parades? But again, this ties in with the Lil Nas X thing. He went viral with that, so he wants to continue to push, to get some traction from that one video. I get
How
it.
the fuck can she learn if you got your Johnson out? That is illegal, right?
And why would you take your daughter to any of these parades? I just told you, most of these parades are pretty salacious anyway.
No, it's not. I watch behavior. When I see that you can identify and hide in certain groups and the behavior can change.
Now, how did you miss the behavior of R. Kelly and Cosby? I'm very curious about that. But carry on.
That is a bad thing that we're doing. This is an attack on masculinity. But no.
But again, where was those two masculine? What masculinity were they about? Read that deposition on Cosby where Constant is talking about, I hope you got a tight ass. What is that about? Constant, who looks like a full man, Andrea Constant, she's talking about, I just want to see if you got a tight butt. Why would she ask him if he has a tight butt? And he's an old man at that point. So not only an old man who's pretty out of shape. So what was that?
Still don't believe me, O'Shea? Okay. Let's see what happens when a male sexual harass people in the office like Charlemagne did.
There you go.
Charlemagne, he been throwing bunkies at men.
There you go.
If that was a woman, well, never know in the Breakfast Club you can sniff seats. So I don't know.
There you
throw
go.
A bunkie at a woman with nuts on it.
This dude can't get off the Charlemagne shit. The Charlemagne shit is dead unless you really gonna bring him out. I mean, the Charlemagne shit is dead, bro. It really is.
Would they prosecute him for that as sexual harassment? Or if he throw a dildo at a woman, I'm pretty sure he might be above that too. But it's interesting once we start digging into BET and finding out what's going on and why things are happening, it realized that they're taking heterosexual men out of the equation. And that's not all inclusive. And that's not right. And that's not fair.
Folks, how long have people been talking about men wearing dresses in hip hop, on TV, right? How long have people been talking about men wearing dresses and stuff? Kwame Brown's been out of the league since 2013. Because remember, he said, "Oh, I didn't want to say nothing while I was working for them people." Blah blah blah. You know, when you were trying to get down with the get along gang yourself. But you retired from the NBA in 2013, homie. So, how is it that once you got out, you weren't publicly speaking about any of this stuff? But only now, since Nas X went viral, you decided to hop on that wave.
Masculine men deserve to have jobs in every company.
I just told you they do.
Say you're wrong about something. And my opinion is you're wrong. Now you cannot fight an opinion.
But wait. Masculine men have jobs in these countries and not being able to say but they're wrong. You didn't say shit though. When you worked at you didn't even open your mouth. How would you even know the concept of that when you stayed quiet all those years? I don't get it.
I didn't say fact is you're wrong. I said my opinion. So don't you squeamish bitches go to, he said something against us. No, my opinion. My opinion said you need to have a conversation now. You can't hide behind your little push words that stop off every goddamn conversation. Because we want to know why heterosexuals never have a day that we can walk in the street butt-ass naked without going to jail and you do.
Like why? Again, why do you want to do that?
We want to know why black men, every time they try to move up a ladder that most black men will never get to, like head coach, GM, owner. There's only one. How many black owners in?
Okay, there are black GMs. There are tons of black coaches. We just had one. Actually, we have. We got one in the finals right now. You had 3 black. There's tons of black head coaches. There are tons. There's only 2 in the NFL. We know the NFL is racist as fuck. You know, in the Major League Baseball, I mean, you got a couple of people of color, okay, that are managers. Dave Roberts, my manager here in Mets, Luis Rojas, and the manager Dave Martinez down in Washington. People of color, as they call them. But blacks don't really play baseball like that, unfortunately. And there's a ton of black head coaches in the NBA, but there are also black executives as well. But let's continue.
The NBA. Is it one, Michael Jordan?
How do you not know this, Kwame? How do you not know that there's only one black owner in the NBA? How do you sit down and not know this? You're just trolling at this point.
Is it 2?
Come on, bro.
Michael Jordan, somebody who never speak out politically.
Oh,
somebody
now,
who's just quiet as a church mouse.
Oh, now you're going at Michael Jordan.
Is it just one?
Said nothing while you were in the league.
You have to get down and lay down, don't they?
Oh, please.
Let's see how.
But isn't that what you did for 13 years in the league? 4 while you were under Jordan. We've seen the memes where you cow down and just let them bark your heads off. You said nothing.
Attacking masculinity in these offices. Let's see if they protected men. Don't allow anybody to silence your voice by words like toxic and racism and all of this. Make them have a conversation with you. They should ask you, why are you saying the things that you're saying?
All over the place.
And you should be able to explain why. It shouldn't be an attack word to stop you from being able to speak. It's all bullshit designed to control you.
There you go. More Illuminati shit.
Conversation, that's the worst thing that you can do. We can all agree to disagree. But if half the room is scared to talk, and the other half of the room is dominating the show, and we should no longer be afraid to talk. It's our opinion. It's we think. Hell, we might have snapped, but we still have a right to talk. So let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's ask these questions. Why can't we have some of the same behaviors as the people who want respect?
You want to bring your daughter these parades? You want these parades for heterosexual parades?
Who try to branch out on their own. They've shown us throughout history when we try to branch out on our own that somehow that disrupts an economy. Imagine if these great black so-called leaders, or all of us black people with money, stick together and keep our money circulating in our community. They allow Asians to do it. They allow Chinatown to do it. They allow every other culture but us, because we control and drive the market.
No one, bro, you made over $60 million in the NBA. And you keep talking about how we have no black banks, we have no black this, we have... If that's the case, you're so for that, right? You made over $60 million, and we'll get into that in a second, but you made over $60 million in the NBA. Why don't you give a couple million to Umar to fix up them trap bandos down in Delaware? Why don't you interview Umar? Why don't you go down there, okay? If you went to Delaware right now, right now, you've regained some fame. People see you on the street, just even if you weren't famous. I mean, you're a freaking 6'11" dude. People are going to notice you when you step out the car. So why don't you fly down to Delaware, meet up with Umar, have an interview with him. It's hot outside. You know, y'all can sit in front of that bird-invested rock and give Umar a check. See, here's what that would do. If you give Umar $1 million check and you did that on camera and you handed it to him and everybody was there, first of all, you'll look like you said, like you know, you'll look like you say what you mean. You give the money, you're like, listen, he's actually trying to build something independent. But what it'll do for Umar, now it's going to force his hand. He's got to move on this. Now Umar's going to have to move on this. Since everybody feels that he's the only person on earth that has this independent school, and the school, you go there, your kids will be able to see through walls, and you walk out, you'll be able to pick up cars, and you'll grow wings and fly through the air and fly back, and you know, your dick will grow an extra 4 inches and all this other shit. Go there and have a meeting. Have you, Linda Evans, who's the councilwoman there, and Umar, and have a big conference. Bring cameras, bring everything. Since, you know, which you lied through your teeth that we don't have a bunch of independent stuff. We do have a lot of independent stuff. You're lying. But do that. Do that. No one's stopping you from doing anything, bro. Just like nobody's stopping Umar from fixing anything in that damn school. He needs an HVAC. The HVAC is what? It's gotta be a good 100,000 or whatever. Okay, put some money into the HVAC.
We create dances. We create songs.
Right.
We play sports.
Right.
There's not many fields that we don't drive what other people do.
Right.
So they don't want us to come up with our own, a way to make our own shirts, our own hats, our own whatever. Imagine if you could make this hat and have a distribution deal and have Jay Prince and all those guys that was trying to put it together to distribute our merch and our music.
Right.
Imagine.
Jay Prince isn't the only black business owner, folks. I'm sure he can find. You don't have to go to Houston or LA where Suge's at, or New York where Gotti's at. You can do it right there in Atlanta. Why don't you get together with some business owners in Atlanta, since you want to do it so badly? Or why don't you, since according to you, you make your own stuff, right? Why don't you, while you're there, right, instead of doing a show on this revenge tour shit, why don't you do a full video on how that would be done? Instead of speaking to these political people, using them, and like Angela Stanton, where it was nothing. I'm sure that was nothing but a bash fest to go after your enemies. Or Joe Brown, he's on there again. Okay, probably talking about Mark Lamont Hill. All right, why not do a couple of videos showing you doing that? But the fact is, I don't think you want to do that. I think you just want to complain and get traction on your website.
How many white guys that make money off of our culture that would be out of job? Imagine how many generations of people that would not be able to do the things that they're doing. So they need us. They need us not to wake up. That's why they attack any man or woman who try to be independent. They want to stop individuals.
Is that why they were attacking you, bro? Are you trying to make the correlation that they were attacking you because you were trying to be independent, or you were dropping some knowledge? Are you serious?
They want to create one-track-minded thinkers, and that's all emotional people.
You want to attract one-minded thinkers. You want them to you want everybody to get along with Mama's cooking. That's you that wants to do that. You've been doing this since you got on here. You trying to get this whole cult to follow behind Mama's cooking. That's what you're trying to do. And clearly, from this whole video, you never knew what the hell you were talking about. You just went by hearsay.
That want to be virtue signaled to, because they don't want to do anything. They want to talk about a problem, identify it,
like you,
about it, and cry about it.
You do that. You do that.
You have to do the work to fix it.
Oh God.
You have to do the work to fix any problem. It's time for us to do the work. There should be nobody tithing to any more churches. They hadn't proved themselves. The outcomes is that there's a church on every corner in the black community.
This is old. This is old. These are old ass talking points. Church in every corner. I mean, the 90s want these talking points back, bro. Even going back to the 60s. I mean, they're asking for these talking points back, bro. This is old.
They've helped the black community. They've given us a set of hope and ideals of a God coming back to help. Now it's time, ladies, because there's not a lot of men left going to church. But ladies, now it's time to take that money and not give it to pastor. It's time to invest in your sons and your daughters in your community. You have the money. We spend the most money. We have the money to build anything we want as long as we keep it focused on our community. There should be no more shouting and screaming and crying. There should be people paying attention to their communities. There should be people going down to get in positions to change the laws. There should be people joining the police force. Right. There should be people becoming attorneys.
Wait, joining the police force? Joining the police force.
There should be people becoming judges. Black people, not becoming rappers, not becoming ball players.
Now, let me just say this, and that's the end of the video. Look, the video is from a platform that is pro Kwame and rides Kwame's, nutsack to be frank with you. I mean, they're trying to push Kwame out there, that Kwame's a new voice and shit, but it's a basically pro Kwame platform. The video is kind of cut up, but you heard all the points on it. Now, let me read this article, right? This is an article from 2018. Kwame Brown alleges Merrill Lynch, remember them? The group that was going to hook up with Bill Cosby? Stole $17.4 million by forging signature lawsuit. All right? Now, Kwame made about $64 million. So it says, former NBA Senator Kwame Brown has filed a lawsuit against Merrill Lynch accusing the wealth management company of stealing millions of dollars from him. Per Bloomberg's Scott Soshnick, Brown said in his suit that Merrill Lynch stole $17.4 million by forging his signature on various documents that allowed a financial advisor to complete financial investments and trades without his approval. Per Bloomberg, Edvard Pedersen, that's a weird name, citing the complaint, Brown was told he had no money with Merrill Lynch when he requested information about his investments in 2017. According to Basketball Reference, Brown made nearly $64 million in his career from 2001 to 2013. Best remembered for being the number one overall pick by the Washington Wizards in 2001 NBA draft. Brown played for 7 different teams in 12 seasons. His last NBA appearance came on February 20th with the Philadelphia 76ers. Brown took part in the inaugurational season of the Big Three Basketball League in 2017. The 36-year-old played for the three-headed monsters who lost to Trilogy in the championship game. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he played for the Big Three. And listen, that alone, look, no one, I'm not going to attack him because he lost some money. Everybody loses money. Unfortunately, that happens. Tim Duncan, okay, one of the greatest players that ever played the game. $20 million was stolen from him. All right? So people do lose money. I get that. And it's unfortunate it happens. The difference with Tim Duncan is that Tim Duncan is a legendary player. He can lose all his money, and he's never going to be out in the street. He'll never be out in the street. He's always going to have something to fall back on. There are going to be people that are going to take care of dude because of what he gave the city of San Antonio, 5 championships. Kwame Brown, with his 4,200 points, 6 points per game, and only a couple rebounds per game, right? Over 13 years with how many teams? Freaking, 7 different teams over 12 seasons. Not so much, all right? You got your money from the league, and, be happy with what you got, and then you're out of here. And it just makes you wonder, with him on YouTube and basically, doing stream on top of stream. From what I understand, this dude does like 5-10 streams a day. Gets the cash apps and gets a lot of hits and all this other stuff. You really wonder if he's doing this, because he has money situations. If he is, he is. He was able to build up some sort of platform and market himself, whatever. But guys who play for the Big Three, let's face it, a lot of them playing for it because they need the money. Let's just be real about it. So you wonder if he's online here, going towards this conspiratorial nonsense. You wonder if he's doing this because at the end of the day, he really needs the money. And if he needs the money, I don't expect him to admit it, but I don't need you to come out and make ridiculous comments. He went after Stephen A. Smith yet again because, as you probably heard, Stephen A. Smith made a statement about the money. He made a statement about his bosses, saying that my job is to make enough money for my bosses to keep them happy. And in turn, I work hard enough to make myself... Let me make sure that I have the quote.
I wake up every morning with 2 thoughts. Number 1, how do I make my bosses more money? And number 2, how do I get some of it?
So basically, people are going after Stephen A. Smith for making that statement. Kwame obviously jumped on it. And Stephen A. Smith, the problem with Stephen A. Smith making that statement is that he said it wrong, but he was right. In other words, how does he make his bosses more money? Right? And it obviously it's going to bring out the conscious community, the conscious coons, right? Who are out there and who aren't bosses, who ain't making money themselves, right? For anybody, okay? It's going to bring out the people who are on this boss talk, like Damon Dash, who has his streaming company that has no traction, that has like 2-3 visitors a day, all right? Dame Dash, just keep in mind, for those of you who go after Boyce started going down when he started following Dame Dash. Keep that in mind. Keep all that in mind. All Stephen A. Smith should have said was, my goal is to find out how I can get more money from what I'm doing. Instead of saying, making my bosses. That's what killed him. It came out wrong, but he had the right idea. So Kwame, of course, jumped on it. Like, oh, you part of the go along, get along gang. You are working for White Zaddy. Bro, you're on Zaddy's platform yourself. You left the NBA in 2013. It's 2021. You had you had 64 million. Obviously that dipped to almost half. Whatever. You still got money. You could have had your own platform. But you're on Zaddy's platform, whether it's this platform or Facebook, both platforms which you claim you went viral on. And what did you put together in those 8 years? You made much more money than Stephen A. Smith. So again, it's just with these fools online, you know, clowning Steve. And I'm not a Stephen A. Smith fan. I'm not a fan. But what did he say that was wrong? The only thing he said that was wrong was my bosses. Yes, Stephen A. Smith worked for somebody. He works for somebody. Kwame, if you have a business, why don't you do this? Do a video where and show what you're doing with your tractor. Instead of doing videos from your studio or from your car or whatever. You're not doing that. So, yeah. I just wanted to go through this. This is the guy who you said I got to listen to. He's saying some real shit. He's really putting it down. No, he's not. This man's a fool. To get into all that, he's basically, and this is my conclusion with him, I think the dude needs money. I think that he's in desperate need of money right now. And he's going to move towards the conspirator shit. That's what I think. He's obviously showing people how to use a tractor or to build. That's really not going to get much traction on your site. You're trying to move towards this conspirator shit because how can you make so many ridiculous statements about the NBC shit, which is old. That article I read was from 1993, dude. 93. So you're clearly hopping on the conspirator shit, and you have a lot of fans with that. A lot of these brain dead, COSBY'S who still think that this dude didn't give quaaludes to his In fact, let me read from the deposition if I may, because I'm gonna go over this whole deposition for you goofy motherfuckers. This is from the deposition, page 15. The deposition, by the way, is 66 pages. It says, Triani, she's talking about stuff that happened. This isn't about Andrea Constant, but this is the lawyer, the prosecutor asking Cosby about quaaludes. The prosecutor is Triani, or the defense lawyer, or the prosecutor. It's like, you thought it was later than that. O'Connor, which is Cosby's lawyer, said he met her 2 years later. And then this is Cosby. I met Mrs. Such and Such. She met me backstage. This is Cosby. I gave her quaaludes. We then have sex. I can't judge this at this time what she knows about herself for 19 years, a passive personality. So this isn't about whether he gave Constant quaaludes. He gave her Benadryl from what I understand. But he gave women quaaludes for the sole purpose of having sex. You want to say he didn't admit who's going to admit that they raped anybody? But he gave quaaludes for sex. And all this information is out there, and here's Kwame Brown trying to find a way to get behind him because he knows where the wind is blowing. Oh, people think Cosby is a conspiracy against Cosby, so he's not going to take the bold move and step back and say, let me look at all the facts. He's going to go ahead with the quote-unquote go along, get along gang. How about that? So, yeah, I just had to speak on that, man. Like, share, subscribe. Hopefully I can get a live in later today. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for hopping on. Peace. Big up on yourself. I'm out.